All right. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Go for CEO channel, where we bring you CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, and intrapreneurs, and some of the best people on earth today that are doing some big things, from that startup seed capital to 25 to $1 billion in business, and a lot of great people, but I get so ecstatic when I get to bring on a friend, someone that I've known for many years. And, we just finally reconnected recently. We're talking about some of the things that are going on in each other's life. And this gentleman with Breakthrough Publishing and AndrewBrownBooks.com, my man, Andrew Brown. How are you today?
John, good morning. How are you, sir?
Fantastic, man. So glad for you to come on the Go for CEO channel and really share with people the story of Andrew Brown and what you've gone through, how you've been able to create your businesses,
Yeah,
and all the things that you really bring value to the marketplace. So why don't
yeah.
we always like to start off, let me remind everybody to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, as we always like to say, and leave a comment for Andrew, because I know he'll be very interactive with any comments that you leave. And as he sees this thing going on and going onto the YouTube channel and onto our podcast channel with iTunes and Spotify with the Go for CEO brand, Andrew will be very, very connected to you, and we'll build that community with him as well. So, Andrew, we always like to share the interviewee first few minutes about just where you came from and then how you thought of the idea of Breakthrough Publishing and Andrew Brown Books.
Oh, well, thank you so much, John. I'm a native of Chicago, but grew up out in Maywood. And just fast forwarding, man, I'm a third generation military from the United States Army. So for all of my veterans out there, hood, thank you for serving. And so, just after I had a wonderful career in the military, 14 and a half years, everything all the way from private to, a first lieutenant in the Medical Service Corps. So if you're familiar with MASH TV, with the 4077, that's my job. I'm in the emergency medical triage. I'm in the life-saving business. so it's kind of summed up in the life-saving business. But in actuality, just after a really, great career, there in college and that kind of thing, and then getting that promotion in the military, I just had a defining moment. Sometimes success has defining moments, and you have to learn how to adjust. So to your initial question, how did Breakthrough Publishing and Andrew Brown Books get started? They were birthed out of a defining moment. You know what I mean? And so, but a little bit, yeah. But ultimately, as a medical service officer for the Army, was very, very well rounded in the military, airborne paratrooper, that kind of thing. But 7 hours from graduating from medical school, I was in a near fatal auto accident, John. And it was very traumatic. I was 90% chance to live. 10, I lived. 90, I died. 7 major surgeries, 3 days in a coma, 3.5 weeks intensive care, and 2 years on how to walk and talk again. So the good looking guy you see right now in front of you is a different guy if you go to AndrewBrownBooks.com. I have 40 screws in my skull, 7 in my mouth, and 13 in my hip. So, I want to share a little bit today as we're talking today about, the opportunity to birth an idea. What does that look like? What does it look like as a veteran-owned business? You know what I mean? And then actually, what am I doing now based upon a myriad of experiences that I've had, you know what I mean? Because it hasn't been a straight shot to this particular seat. It has been a potpourri of a lot of experiences that have brought me here. But each one of them have been rich in their own right to help me be able to do one thing, which I guess is solidify my target market. So I guess, today, if we're having a conversation, people are going to view the video, the person that I'm really talking to today is a person that's in a defining moment, right? They're shifting out of a career. Their company is closed. They've been impacted in some sort of way by either a health issue, right? Or, or the business has been impacted by some sort of way by the vision, the dream. But does it mean that the opportunity still lives, right? Is everything viable? So for my accident, I had to believe that my life was still viable. You know what I mean? So I had to fight for it. You know what I'm saying? But maybe out of this pandemic, we just had, businesses closed and people losing jobs, companies downsizing. I guess the thing that I want my viewers to take away with, today, the one thing I want to take away with is, can they answer the question, am I still viable?
I love that question, right? It's it's one of those mysteries that we keep on asking ourselves and looking in the mirror and
Yeah,
saying, am I still viable? Well, awesome stuff. I mean, I know that when I first met you, I got a chance to learn about that accident, about
yeah,
the details of it,
mhm,
and just an incredible moment in time. And you made that mental switch, right, of
yeah,
regaining yourself and reconnecting to where you need to go and getting
mhm,
that power back in. And I know that your background is so unbelievable with your parents and everything that you have with your family, and you're such a family guy as well. So
yeah,
let's talk about obviously you went through a traumatic experience.
yeah.
You regained your senses, your sight, your talking ability, your walking, but how do you turn that into a business, right? It's such a dynamic way to think about it, and that's what you've done. You've been able to create, sources of business out of something so traumatic. So tell us a little bit about kind of that journey.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, John. As I said, man, it was really bad. It been in the military. You know, we're actually in the business of freedom. You know what I mean? We're in the business of freedom, and the military represents less than half or 1% of the total population of the United States of America. So you think about, like, for every 1 million citizens, 5,000 soldiers represent that 1 million. In that context, and so we each one of us have our own specialized skill set. You know what I mean? And the longer you stay in the military, the longer that skill set develops. It should develop if you do it right. Like if you do it right, it should progressively develop because you'll ultimately mature into that leader to take on that responsibility for that next move. You follow what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so ultimately, so I can say that because I started as a private, but then through basic training AIT, I fast tracked and got promoted. And I was at that time I was running a dining operation for the military. You know what I mean? So we were feeding like 425 people per day. You know what I mean? And it's a real big operation. It's very intense driven. It's a lot of responsibility because if somebody gets sick, they can die. So it's a lot of responsibility. It's a critical MOS. But you're working in sequence with the leadership. You know what I mean? With the company commanders, and I mean, and what you do there impacts the whole of the mission. That's just whatever that specialty is, it impacts. So I was able to garner that leadership capacity, understanding organization from that particular experience. So then when I had this, so then as I further down the road, and then I matured to be this Army officer, right? And then I'm in the medical service corps. That's another very critical MOS again, because everybody can't be in the medical corps. Like it's real business, it's life. You know what I mean? Like you got to know what the hell you're doing. I'm saying that's a no nonsense kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no personalities, ain't none of that. It's just, hey, you know what I'm
Get
saying?
it done.
But before you get there, going to airborne school in the military, because airborne school really makes you earn the right to be a leader. Like it really earns you because it's a volunteer course, and then what happens is you have to be nominated by the commander. You got to nominate you. So when you go, but out the gate, they have 425 people, but only 125 to 140 people finish. That's how serious it is.
Mm.
Like it's like a no nonsense. Like the military. It is not. It weeds everything out that's not right. It just weeds it out. So the ideal of it is, the long and short is that you go and you get started, and the first day you have to run 5 miles, John. And the first day, this is 4 o'clock in the morning. Man, people was falling out in every doggone thing, man. Like, so it's something where, like, you have to decide if you are what you think you want to be. And so I finished that. And so then finished up medical school, finished up college, graduated from university, that kind of thing. When I had this accident, that was the accident I couldn't decide I was going to live or not. God decided. Lots of prayers. God decided that. It was a 90% chance. The doctor called my mom, said, make funeral arrangements for him and tell the family. And we're going to send some tickets to O'Hare to let y'all come down. Man, people was flying. He was flying people in like you wouldn't believe. Everybody was there. But man, I'm telling you that prayer and God answering prayer, man, and that faith, that's what the catalyst to how you could birth, how I birthed it, and how I've been birthing it and been birthing it from an infant, like it's been in its infancy, you know, because I owned it. I've been owning it like for a long time. It's like, and actually it was like, it's almost like God said, this is your story, man. This is what I want you to do. Right? You're going to be the spokesperson. I want you to tell people that they can overcome adversity, and you're going to tell them your story, and you're going to give them some practical stuff they can do. And this is what we're going to do. That's how we're doing it. That's it. So the journey, so all while I was learning how to walk and talk again, you're talking about a guy with a degree and you know, international student, you know, successful military officer. Like I'm not a lightweight in the game. You know what I mean? I earned it. You know, they don't give away promotions. You know, you earn it. I'm saying, you know what I mean? And so, but I had to take everything I knew and then leverage it back into my ability to be able to have this conversation with you. You know what I mean? So when you talk about where did I birth it from? How was it birthed? It was birthed out of the adversity, but it was built out of the successes. You follow me? Because I knew I got a whole host of degrees and certificates and awards that tell me I'm successful. Mm. So if something doesn't look right, or somebody don't buy something, or I make a marketing error, or you know, maybe I get in front of the vision too fast, I can always come back and say, but I can come back and say, but you know, you're successful. You follow me? Sure. And then I get back in it again, and I go forward again, and then I settle down again. But instead of me trying to run it forward, what I did was settle down and just start to pray. So the pandemic this year has really filtered out like everything that we're doing, like in all of the things that I got my hands in. It's filtering out how am I going to approach it now, because I used to kind of approach business with everybody. No, everybody don't want what Andrew Brown has. You follow me? There's certain people that want what Andrew Brown has, right? There are people that are going through some sort of defining moment that have to do with a medical illness, or they have a financial impact, or they need to have some encouragement. Let me get my battery here warmed up here. Let's see.
All right. So yeah, quick break there. But yeah, Andrew, I mean, you were sharing obviously that defining moment, and you know, what we call in the business world is defining your avatar, right? The ideal client, understanding who you're really going after, and what pain are you resolving for them? What issue are you problem solving for them? So keep it going. Yeah, I love the train of thought. And there's so much of a business mindset in what you just said, and the journey that you've done through that. It's pretty awesome. So keep it going. Like, go for CEO community. Listening to what Andrew's saying right now, because it is very, very much gold.
Yeah. But like I said, I just try to lean on this. I remember the successes, and then I have the vision in front of me. You know, so my vision, you know, we want to have a mega best-selling platform, right? We you know, not only, I'm not interested in bestseller. I'm interested in the best value. Right. It would be nice to have, 10 million, advocates for overcoming adversity. Right. They said, man, you know what? I read the book and I was here and it broke and I had a breakthrough. And it was interesting how, it's interesting as I was sharing with you about like my, how God had to use my faith and kind of remind me he was guiding me, man. And then I had to come back and, grab some scriptures to keep me empowered, you know what I mean? And then there was a scripture in Job said, despise not small beginnings. Because I had like a grandiose vision, man. Like I'm like ready to roll. I'm ready to run on TV. I'm ready to do it, man, And then next thing you know, dude, I done bought programs and I done did this and I done did that. And the money that should have been seed money to just build one thing, to keep planning one thing, to keep planning one thing. All of a sudden now I'm out of $10,000, right? And I'm like, dude, you gotta, I went and ran through the money. So then the business became sustainable on my own dime instead of me having like a return on investment. You follow what I'm saying? So I was a lesson I had to learn early. I was like, no, we got to do a better job. Like we got to find a better way to do some marketing. We got to find a better way to talk to the target people. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But settling down and really becoming confident and secure in what the mission was, what I was intended to do, like what I really wanted to do. You know what I mean? And staying true to the gift, right? Because I think a lot of times too, John, in the accident, it also unraveled my gift, exposed my gift, right? I'm talking to you, but Doc, I used to do like workshops and stuff at school all the time, and they'd be like, "Hey, man, you'll be the keynote presenter, right? We're gonna present, we're gonna answer questions, field the questions, so forth, so on, so forth, so on, so forth, so on." And it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing it, and it's very authentic and transparent. No, I'm not trying to steal quotes from people and stuff like that, even though I'm well read. You know, what I mean, I'm not trying to steal anybody's quotes to make my stuff sound good. I don't need to do that. I think what happens is that what I try to do is I wrote my book, and we have a new audio book coming out. We're gonna launch in July, and what I did was I wanted the reader to have an authentic voice and just have a conversation, like we have a conversation. Cup of coffee, cup of coffee, eat a piece, have some donuts, a bag, or whatever. Just chill. But in actuality, allowing that person in whatever space they in and whatever they got going on to just be cool for a second. Take the guard off, take the thing, and let's just chat. Let's just talk about it. And so I share, my journey. I share my story. I share the pearls of wisdom. I share the principles of faith that I leaned on to become successful. Right? That I didn't know though that while writing the book that I was going to be blessed to have, man, one of the top editors, man, who edits, best-selling authors be my editor. I didn't know that I was going to get blessed, man, to have the former president from the National Speakers Association, man, be my mentor in terms of speaking. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know all that was going to happen. You follow what I'm saying? Into that. So I think that, having the vision, which I had the vision for the project, and then just kind of doing it, it worked out well. But I will tell you the truth. The book didn't get birthed until I had a defining moment. And it came out the success I had. I was working for the Board of Education, and I was managing a program called the Chicago Police and Firefighter Training Academy for the Board of Education Chicago. We had 150 students across the city of Chicago, 12 schools, no parochial schools, nobody, just 12 schools. We dropped it down to 11. And then the program was well. We had a partnership with the police department, the fire department, summer camp. It was solid. And then I come in, I would bring the leadership development because I want to make sure that in the school, the children have the grades to continue to sustain themselves to go, and then make sure that the reading and writing is effective. Because if they're going to go into these public service fields and they're going into college, because they got a scholarship from city colleges, that the only way you can be effective in college, you got to know how to read and write. And then if you take care of that, everything else it'll take care of everything else. Take care of your math, science, but really having a command of the language, reading and writing is going to be cool. So we did that. And then we wound up recruiting 324 students, man.
Oh, wow.
It was a real big deal, Doc. It was real big. A lot of people's eyes got big, and then a lot of people's heads got, nervous too. It's like, dude, doing, what? So they downsized my position, which left me in a position because I'm like, God, you know what's going on, man? I just did, I just did everything cool. You know what I mean? I was having a moment. I had to, I had to have a conversation with God. I'm serious. It was a trip, John. You know what I mean? I mean, because this is cross-cultural, dude. I've been to funerals. One of my students life was lost through an accident. You know what I mean? I've been to funeral. I was the pallbearer at the funeral for the family. You know what I mean? I was consulting, the children, man, because I had a whole diverse group of multicultural group, man. So anywhere in the city, anywhere you think about city of Chicago, I can go to any city, part of the city. I can interact with all students, all cultures. We had a great time. Everybody loved me. But man, I was like, God, I did everything you want me to do. What's up? And then the next thing you know, my partner called, one of my professors called from the chair, from my school, called from DePaul. He said, hey man, I'm going to write. You want to come with me? And that's where the book was birthed at, during that moment, that call. And then that moment, and I got a chance to sit down and write. It took me 3.5 years and 4 revisions. It's real well written. Because once I got it finished, I flew out to Santa Fe, New Mexico to meet to a speaker's, retreat. Cause I didn't, I really didn't want to do the speakers thing. You know what I mean? Even though I could do it, I didn't really want to do it. It's a responsibility you have to have. Went out there, man. I met a guy from NASA. I met the presidents of the National Speakers Association. Man, they had us out there in Santa Fe, in a house. It was real cool for 3 days. We was out there, man, and it was life changing. And then the lady called me. She said, "Hey, I'll help you. I finished up the first draft." She said, "Send it to me. Stop writing." She sent it to her. She said, "Okay, great. That's cool. Now go right now. We got to go back and revise it because now you got to write it for the audience. The first one was your copy. Now you clean. Now let's go write it for the audience and do it like that." I was like, "All right."
I love it.
So let's talk about your audience here, John. You know what I mean? Now that's enough about me. But maybe that adds some value for the.
I think the beauty of the Go for CEO channel is what we're trying to do is give a voice to that small to medium-sized business owner, in all different types of businesses. We've had natural pet healing people on. We've had consultings on. We've had karate schools on, Taekwondo, actually, and body shop guys, right? You actually, I think, Brian Bennick is a body shop, but it's just interesting because it's all about just really sharing that journey of how you got into business, what birthed that, especially that book, and then obviously Breakthrough Publishing. So tell me a little bit about Breakthrough Publishing and what's going on with that. Like, are you entertaining new authors? Are you sticking with kind of your development and then being able to, market that? What's going on with Breakthrough Publishing?
So Breakthrough Publishing got birthed out of another blessing. I got a chance to meet Mark Victor Hansen. So my connection with Vicki Sullivan from the former from that speakers camp, she did introduce me to this whole new world of marketing, which I didn't even know exists. Right. So then I wound up I wound up reading particular publications that were from the industry. National Speakers Association, they got a magazine, National Speakers Association, they got different advertising, that kind of thing in there. And so Mark Victor Hansen had a mega book marketing university that he was doing. He does it every year. And I was like, all right, cool. So I wanted to go. And so then I called and they was like, well, no. And then I had called I called Randy Gage. So Randy Gage, really prominent speaker, man, super sharp guy, man. He had a real big event going on in Tahiti. And so I had called him up and I asked him, I was like, man, about the speakers event. And then one of my advisors was like, well, actually, do they have any scholarships, to go to the event, And then so he was like, I called him, I talked to him personally. He's like, we don't have any scholarships here. If you'd called me earlier, I could have gave you a scholarship to come. You know what I'm saying? Then I just had to get my ticket to Tahiti, you know what I mean? Which would have been a really boss trip, right? But this is like the premier league of all speakers, So she turned around and talked to Mark Victor Hansen. And they said, well, we don't have any more scholarships this year. The young lady said, but call me back next year. So at that time, I had finished up the book. I sent her the draft and everything. And then I had got done. Then at that time, I was teaching. So I was doing a substitute teaching. I was teaching. So there's always little things that you're doing as you're perfecting the thing to go to the big thing, right? And Breakthrough Publishing handles all of the things that I do from the speaking platform. I don't. So the speaking platform, Decision to Destiny, they don't produce nothing. They just produce the content, and then Breakthrough Publishing is the one who handles all media, anything media related, so I can package it and so forth. So that's what Breakthrough Publishing comes in, its significance. And so got a chance to go out there, spend about 40. She called me up after get done teaching. And she said, Andrew, hey, this is when I'm calling from Mark Victor Hansen's office. You got a scholarship. Hey, we'll see you at the conference. And man, dude, I was in the house shouting and praising God, man. And my wife had free. She said, what's going on? She said, you got some good news. I'm just, man, I was on fire, man, at the house. I was just so excited and overwhelmed, man, and blessed because I knew that everything I believed in was starting to take that fruit. It was starting to come to fruition. You follow what I'm saying? And I didn't give up on it. But everything that I was teaching, everything I wrote about in the book, I was taking segments and teaching in class. So I was helping to transform classrooms, right? And transform schools, the students, in their leadership and in their learning capacity. You know what I'm saying? Helping them, right? Helping parents. Parents come see me. Man, I had like a huge parent turnout when you report card time. Man, they come, stay, we talk about their child performance, talk about what they could do. You know what I mean? It was like a real big deal, right? It's like Mr. Brown and one of my principals, Miss Bland, she passed away, but she kind of had an assembly for me. She said, you know, you're a modern day, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King. You know, I thought that was really big. You know what I mean? And but she was a big advocate for me, and I was well respected within the construct. Because I went back to my alma mater to teach. You know what I mean? And it was really cool. And then, like I said, went to teach at college and taught at Triton College 2 years, my alma mater as well. And I was teaching health and total fitness. And so here again, I'll bring in more of that military health background. You follow me? But bringing more of that leadership background into that space. And then one of my students at that time, UPS was running a commercial called "What Can Brown Do?" Right, and one of my students wrote me a letter and said, "What can Brown do for you?" And he just talked about like all the stuff and how his life was impacted within the construct of the classroom. I mean, it was cool, man, because you know when I bring a different flow to the class. You know what I mean? I bring something different. You know what I mean? But the athletic director had picked me up to, you know, asked me to mentor the athletic department, all the athletes. Like that's softball, basketball, wrestling, you know, all the athletes. So I had a chance to host a session with them, and we were talking about, just the iceberg of conflict, you know, talking about those things, conflict, and just how do you navigate life's conflicts. And I was taking like different elements of the conflict, but then I was pointing to like different parts of their life that was kind of giving some value and meaning for it. So it's just, you know, all of it is, you know, that's what breakthrough publishing is. So breakthrough publishing is this format where they are really responsible for the marketing for Overcome Adversity, the book, and the audio book that's coming out. So things that are on my platform, they're responsible for. Any workshops, trainings, those kind of things, it's responsible, so I can repurpose it, package it, and move it out to the marketplace. You know, so that's where it's birthed at.
I love it, man. You're taking us through that journey, right? From childhood to being in the military, having been ranked at different levels, and you know, earning all those things. And so is life, right? You have to earn
Yeah,
things in life. You don't just get given things in life. And if you do
right.
get given something in life, you usually lose it very
Yeah,
quickly
yeah.
because you didn't know how to earn it. So fantastic journey going in through obviously being a professor and teaching things at a different level, and then obviously having gotten knocked down a couple times throughout the process as
Absolutely.
well,
Oh,
right? So,
absolutely.
you know, and that's
Yeah.
overcoming adversity. I love your book. I remember, as you reminded me the other day, you know, I was able to do a quick live or some video that I did, and shared, you know, that I had read the book again, because I've read it at least 4 times already. Uh,
Awesome, man.
and each time it's just like a great movie, right? You pick out a different subject, you know, you catch it, and then you implement it hopefully into your life. So you know, it's been a great, fantastic book. So I can't wait for it to come out in audio and some of the new things that you're doing. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about, you know, of the way that you really look at kind of the team that you start to put there. I think the Go for CEO community would really value hearing how you like to put teams together for business or for things that you've put on your journey.
That's a great question. You know, this is the copy of Overcome Adversity, Your Dreams Matter. So what we're going to do, we're coming out with the second edition of Overcome Adversity, Your Dreams Matter. We're going to let people now peek into the story, because we're going to take them now from just the written element to, I want them to see, right? And I think once they get that, they see it, then it becomes a more bona fide again, right? And we want to really lock into it. So I really, as I'm pursuing this next goal, I want them to really lock into it. You know what I mean? And then really go forward and get their goal, right? And I actually want a different construct. So when you talk about like this team thing, right? So let me preface team for a minute. So, you know, as I look at the client as a part of the team,
Mm,
right? The reader, I look at the reader as a part of the team, right? Because the target market is people that's facing defining moments, and they're having medical defining moments. So there's somebody who's supporting somebody who's going through a medical situation, or there's somebody who's going through a loss of something, right? And they're looking to regain that sense of value, whether it's a job, whether it's a marriage, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Some sort of loss, something, right? Even if the fact that they're just getting out of college and they need to figure out like what's going on in this world. Like I gave 4 years and I just walked out the door and there's a big old world in front of me. I don't really know how to approach it, right? Eyes wide, Nicolas Cage, everything, right? But the thing about how I like to think about the team is I think about the team and what the end game value is, right? For my reader, I'm thinking about the end game value of them really achieving that particular goal that they have. I'm thinking about them. Yeah, so I build stuff conducive to that. How they thinking about it? When I'm thinking about producing the book, the National Speakers Association gave me the platform for the client ad graphics that I was going to work with to help me produce the book. So when I talk with them clearly. These are the goals. Boom, 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 boom. Now they produce best-selling books all the time, right? I haven't got there in the best-selling state yet, but I know I got best-selling content possibility, right? Haven't got the thing yet, but I own the thing. Like I know I'm best-selling. Period. Like it's already done for me psychologically. So, but when I'm getting there, I'm talking to them about the elements of it. And then we're talking about ideas about how do we do this? Do you want it in paperback? Do you want it in hardback? How do you want it? What kind of paper do you want, right? What kind of font do you want? You know, what's in it? You know what I'm saying? How do we do it? So let me crystallize some stuff. So we were talking about like for the book, I have like a pearl in the book, right? So there's a pearl in the book. Now, the pearl came out of the edit that I was doing. And it was a high point that I liked, right? So we put it to the side. And then I gave it the label, the pearl. So then when my advisor read across, she's like, yeah, that pearl, I love that pearl. Pearl to the journey, that's awesome, right? So then we had the idea, and I was like, okay, but it's not gonna be sufficient just to have pearls of the journey. Like we gotta have pearl, gotta do this, gotta do that. So then I was going to see a pearl. Then he was like, well, no, you can't do that because that has a copyright to it. But I have some other pearls you can utilize. You can utilize that. So when I looked through his catalog and I started picking out stuff. Then I was praying about it. And then God gave me an idea about the pearl. Now, all of a sudden I created this pearl for our own product. So because why? Because as the author and the publisher of the firm, as I'm bringing the content, but I trust that my printer and his expertise, I got to lean in on his expertise. I have to listen to him. So I wanted to be an exchange where I bring value, and then they're bringing value, and it's relational, right? So it's really relational, right? And then what happens is we do everything we need to do. Everybody gets where they need to get to, and it's happy, and everything works out well. My job is he's preparing me to go to bestseller. Right, I got to make sure that I'm prepared to go to bestseller. So then when I shift gears and I get that done, let them handle that, then I got to come over here to their marketing side. Well, I'm learning a lot about marketing, right? I'm learning about that marketing is really about just me and how I feel about the marketing, and then making sure I get to the right audience. There are a lot of things going on in marketing, and I think a lot of times we try to be everything to everybody, but we can't be everything to everybody. So what I do is I stop and I do my research. So I did the research through author, through askthepublic.com, see what they got to say. I do my research through keywords. I do my research through talking to people. I do my, what I'm saying? I do the research, I get into conversations. I talk to the people, meet them, find out what's going on in real life, touch them, understand what they're feeling, understand what they need, find out what I need, you know what I mean? Because I'm the one got to put it out too. So what am I going through? So then I want to deal with the things that I need to make sure I get the message out right. I know that I can't be in 101 platforms. I can't be there, right? What I can do is I could do a Zoom, I could do a YouTube, possibly can do an Instagram, probably a Facebook. But I can't anything like 50, 100, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if I spend all my time online, then it means I can't move my business forward because I got other stuff that I got to be done. So I just got to manage it. So what am I doing? I need to bring on a virtual assistant. Well, my virtual assistant has to be multifaceted because we got to do some We got to do some marketing stuff. We got to do some operation stuff. We got to do some admin stuff. We got to do a lot of things. So what I'm trying to do is, and I learned this from Ty Kemp. Ty Kemp says, hey, Drew, why don't you go through the process first? And then when you get ready to bring somebody on board, you can learn from them. So what I try to do as a CEO is I try to be very, very, very prima facie, face value. Now, in being prima facie, does that slow down the process? It can slow down the process, but do I get a chance to get it right? Absolutely. You know what I mean? I get a chance to get it right? Yeah. And so I'd rather get it right the first time, because if I build it right, I don't have time to go back and do something over again. You know what I mean? I can do it. But if I don't build it right, then I got to go back and I got to do all this stuff over again, and it's going to shift the brand, so forth and so on. Like I mentioned, the audio book that we coming out, it took 7 years to do it. We had to go back and record it 4 times. It's 5 chapters. It's 6 CDs. It's 5 chapters, and it's 86 sub chapters. And wow. Like we had to lay it. It's got to be laid like right. So because we have Grammy aspirations for it. No, we have diamond aspirations for it. We want to, we want to go to the marketplace, because there are 2.5 million people a year that have traumatic brain injuries, right? So that means every year I've been planning this, 2.5 million people have been impacted by this injury. You follow what I'm saying? And then going forward, how many people by accidents, people falling, sports injuries, right? Across the board. So when I'm thinking about what I'm doing, I'm not so much as looking for what Andrew can gain out of it. I'm looking for more, how can Andrew impact and help?
I love
it.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking about. So when I'm thinking about the team, I'm thinking about that. I just think about it like in that context. Just like teaching, right? When they brought me on to teach, I didn't have to fill out. I didn't go through HR and I didn't go through the internet and do that. I went to Blue Cross Blue Shield CPR first aid certification course, right? Did that. The instructor said, Andrew, you're really good. Did you think about teaching at college? I was like, yeah. I said, oh, I can do that. He's like, yeah, we'll go down and teach at college. I go down to see the athletic director. The guy, I said, listen, I'm a former medical officer for the Army. I like to teach first aid. He said, yeah, I got you. You're going to teach that, and you're going to teach fitness. Just like that. You know what I mean? So a lot of times the things that we think about, we get in the weeds of it. But it's more so of me knowing what value I bring, and I trust that value. Like I trust that value because it works. It works. You know what I mean? So I trust it. And I went in, and he said, hey, this is what I want. And I said, fine. Then he said to me, listen, there are college students coming to us from high school that cannot fill out a letter, an envelope. He said, he showed me like he built his case around. He like, y'all, these envelopes, right? When like you supposed to mail the transcript back to the student after the course is over with. You know what I'm saying? He showed the envelopes. He said, man, I can't. What is this? Do you know, John? I spent my time swinging the whole course, curriculum, anything I did around helping them develop writing skills, helping them develop, putting together their argument. We're helping them to just design and have their confidence built up. And it was successful, man. I mean, and so it's just, so when I think about that, I'm thinking about my client like that, because I want them to sit down. I want to say, man, it was important. And man, I'm glad I took a few minutes out to meet Andrew, So that's what we're doing, John. That's how I'm thinking about my team. How we can extract value from each other. What value do you bring? What value do I bring? How do we mesh that value? And how does that value grab the end goal that we're trying to achieve? So it's both a takeaway for everybody.
I love it, man. So many nuggets of wisdom were just shared over the last 5-10 minutes. Go for CEO community. You have to follow Andrew Brown. You have to go to andrewbrownbooks.com. You have to look for Breakthrough Publishing, because this man is just laying down golden nuggets. And listen, it's been a journey and it's been years in the making, but redefining, repolishing yourself, reconnecting with new people, making new adventures, and really overcoming adversity is just a powerful message. So one of the things that we do as we kind of bring our interview to a conclusion, Andrew, is talk about the C, the E, and the O. So for Gopher CEO, it's client experience, employee engagement, and operational excellence. Why don't we go ahead and do about 30 seconds to a minute
Okay.
of, how do you feel client experience? And you talked about it a lot with making the client a part of this book venture, adventure. So tell us a little bit about one secret, maybe, of the way that you treat a client experience.
The client experience, man, is where character meets confidence. It's where character meets confidence, man. It's the ability to just be as real as possible, right? Everybody's coming on a different journey. I'm on a journey. They're on a journey. We meet, right? We're on a journey. I have respect for the client, the journey, and but when they're looking for something and they need something and that kind of thing, then they have to have confidence I can be able to deliver that, right? Just a real quick point, even though I'm a CEO of my own firm, but I had to go through a series while I was working on my Series 7 exam. I was driving for Lyft as a professional driver for Lyft. I was awarded the Oprah Award for Lyft, having driven over 9,700 rides in about like a 3-year period of time. But I earned so many 5-star ratings that Lyft actually created that award in my honor. It was non-existent. The director of customer experience for Lyft out in Sacramento called me up. He said, "Andrew, you need to be at this award ceremony. What's your email address?" He said, "Because you're earning a reward, but you can't receive the award if you don't show up." And so went out there and did that. But every time, out of all those people, they all get in the car trying to go to their destination. But when they get, but en route to their destination, the environment is set in the car where they can just actually have a conversation. And in that conversation, they share what they need to say. Well, what do you think? And then I just kind of share little pearls of wisdom. And people have gotten jobs, and people have gotten breakthroughs, people have redefined their life, through defining moments. A lot of things have happened. I've talked to from everybody who's at the potential to be a CEO to very astute, solid CEOs get in private planes. I've had a conversation with everybody, I've been everywhere. So when I say character meets confidence, that's really what it's about for the client experience, man. You have to have character in what you're doing, right? And then you have to be confident in how you execute that.
I love it, man. Another gem just dropped there from Gopher CEO community, man. So, all right, let's end it with employee engagement and then operational excellence. What's maybe 30 seconds, little snippet of how you treat the employee engagement side of your business.
Employee engagement is really cool, man. This is the vision. This is what we're shooting for. This is how you play in that, right? This is why you're on board, and let's get it done.
Sweet, simple and nice. All right. And then last one is operational excellence. Sometimes some of our strengths may not be operations, but what are some things that you've seen throughout your years that really kind of make a differentiating support system for your operations?
Keep it small, keep it clear, and hurry up and get an assistant.
There you go.
Look, keep it small, keep it clear, and cash flow so you can get an assistant.
I love it. Yeah, you know what? VAs are a big deal. It's 2021, ladies and gentlemen, and virtual assistants and having someone to be able to take off the minutia, the things that that without being discrediting, but it may be $15, $20 an hour work, for you to go make $250, $500 work, and especially with the power and the vision and the messaging that you have, it's incredible to have an assistant and help you kind of formulate your patterns and stuff. So, awesome, Andrew. I really appreciate reconnecting. Obviously, the last few weeks, I know we kind of hit each other up on Messenger, and we were just talking offline about last time we saw each other live. But any last words that you want to share with the Gopher CEO community?
I just want to say thank you first and foremost for participating today, going through the interview, for all you do. And I really encourage you to go forward and pursue your goals, dreams. Pour yourself into it, right? The pursuit that you're on is better because you're part of that particular community. But most importantly, I'd ask you to be your best self, right? At the end of the day, when we're translating our services, our gifts, our products, right? We need to be our best self, right? And we need to stand behind what we do, and really, if we can plan it out effectively, it really works out well. I in my book, Overcome Adversity, Your Dreams Matter, which you'll be coming out here soon, is that the doctors, they took good care of me, right? It looked impossible. They told my mom it was impossible, gave me 24 to 72 hours to live. But God, lots of prayer, lots of prayer. God stepped in there, man, honored the prayer. The doctors were there, helped the doctors exercise their medical gift, right? So, 40 screws, 7 of them out, 13 in my hip. And all of a sudden here, I'm here to share with you a couple of pearls of wisdoms about, hey, how do we overcome adversity? How do we overcome our challenges? But most importantly, how do we achieve our dreams, our goals, and our pursuits? So my final thoughts for you is you can overcome anything if you believe and try. But most importantly, you are empowered to overcome adversity if you choose to do that. But you must always remember your dreams matter. Thank you.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, Go for CEO. You just learned from one of the best, Andrew Brown. He is not a secret. He is out there. We are going to be sharing his book. Get on his .com, Andrew Books, AndrewBrown.com. And look, thank you so much, Andrew, for coming on the Go for CEO channel. By the way, we want to have you in the next 6 to 12 months, because this is a journey. What we're doing is with the Go for CEO interviewees, CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs, we're going to see you every 6 to 12 months. We want to interview you because what we'd love to build is a tribe behind Andrew Brown and what you're doing. So excited to have you on the next 6 to 12 months, my man. All right.
That'll be great, man. They can follow me on Instagram at Andrew Brown Books, and also on the business page on Facebook at Andrew Brown Books.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon.
John, it's been an honor and a pleasure, man. God bless. Thank you, everyone.